safe. Before you cross me, look both ways. Leaving the scene with no trace. None in my league. You out of place. I'm not at the top. I'm outer space. Can't eat with us. We're out of place. I'm doing fine. I'm feeling great. You're not my fan. You can't relate. Straight talk going state to state.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy George Mackay, back here in the Straight Talk Studios. And man, oh man, do I got a good one. I got somebody I've had my eye on for a very long time. Big fan of this man. Please help me welcome one and only Montreal's legend, Sexxxy Eddy.
Oh man, it's great to be here. The Triple X Sex Express is live and direct, baby.
So Eddie, my first question is IWS, one of the biggest promotions in Quebec, in the province of Quebec, dare I say Canada. And you've been involved in some marquee matchups over there, and there's been some legendary stuff done in that promotion of IWS. And all your body of work there, what is one of your favorite moments or favorite matches that you've had at IWS? And I know the list is long, but if you can narrow it down to that one.
Man, so what I can remember, I'm gonna try and narrow it down to I'm gonna have to say the type of match, probably like the fans bring the weapons match. They're always usually the main events when we do this big show once a year, which we're having this Saturday actually, and I'm in another fans bring the weapons. So I want to say that this coming Saturday might be my favorite match, even though it didn't happen yet. But there's always a mystique and aura doing those matches. There's a lot of weapons. You don't know what's going to be handed out to you. The crowd also, again, it goes back to the gladiator days. When there's a little bit of blood, the crowds go crazy. The crowd, sometimes they even go like prehistoric. They kind of turn into cavemen and just start beating their chests and stuff, just with a little bit of blood. So the reactions that I've had are some of the loudest ones doing these type of matches. To pinpoint, I can't remember what I had for breakfast 2 days ago, so it's really hard to go back in my whole body of work because I've been wrestling for at least 102 years, So people are always like saying that guy's still around. I've had even some fans ask me like, are you the same Sexxxy Eddy that did this match, this place and this? And then I'm like, actually my last fan that asked me that, I told him, no, I'm his son. And the guy believed me. So I thought that was hilarious. I just see what happens from there. But it's we all evolve, we all change, we all have different looks. I think I'm gonna say that type of fan bring the weapons matches are always my favorite. I did have a really good feud I liked with XS 69, where we had many matches together to build up a singles match, a tag match, a ladder match, a first blood match, where the storytelling was really well done over the course of almost a year. So that was a fun group of matches to make that. And then again, now I'm having a lot of also some great matches with a little bit of comedy, a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of high flying, and a little bit of some good impact moves with my tag team partner Animal. Actually, I'm wearing our shirt right now with the Sexy Beast represent. I'm having a lot of fun with him. We're about the same age, but he's a late bloomer. He got into wrestling a lot later. So I see the passion in his eyes that I used to have when I was younger, and it makes me love it again, So it's kind of coming full circle. So my last match that I actually had with Animal, we had a lot of fun at IWS. It was really cool. We just had a little, like I said, a little bit of everything. You always give the crowd. I like to do a little bit of everything. I'm what's known also, I think back in the day when we're starting to wrestle, we were able to do a lot more where we're hybrid wrestlers. You had guys that can do, like you said, a little bit of everything, high flying, some power moves, technical wrestling. And if you're able also, not everyone could do it, but properly put in some comedy in there too, then you can go up against anybody. Something would happen and they'd be, hey, you're up against him tonight. You're up against him tomorrow night. And they'll be very different matches. So, it's a hard question to say, and I can't pinpoint. But actually, you know what? Right away, it was called Uneffin Sanctioned. I believe it's 2004. I know the cover of my DVD is black and white. Although I'm saying it was like a newspaper article. I wasn't around when matches were in black and white. Just the cover of this was that, and I was against Excess, and I think that was the blow off to our feud. And we did so much stuff there. There's a lot of moves in that match that I can't do now, which I don't need to do, but that's okay because this old dog has so many new tricks anyways. So that's the beauty of wrestling. You can evolve and change, and sometimes you got to think smart. Work smarter, not harder. Just
I like that.
The longer you want to stay in this wrestling business, you got to think about that. And I realized too at a later age that I get the same reaction ripping my pants off when I do that right before my match starts, and there's no chance of injury there. I get the same reaction as I would jumping off the top rope to the outside and landing on someone, which has a lot more margin of error. So you realize that as later on, and it's like that's how it is. So I'm going more towards the entertainment aspect of it. Other than this Saturday, like I said, if the fans bring the weapons, it's going to be messy. It's going to be bloody. We're going up against the whole show is actually IWS versus Game Changer Wrestling, based in Jersey. And they've been all over the world with this company. So this is their, I believe, as a roster, it's their first time bringing their product, the whole product, not just a couple wrestlers, to Canada. So it's going to be exciting. And then next week also we're doing it in Toronto, same, like a similar kind of angle too and stuff. It's more their show, but we're gonna have a couple IWS guys featured on, like myself, maybe Green Phantom, I think Tabernacle Team, Lufisto, Benjamin Tull. So we're still gonna bring in some of our Canadian violence to our American counterpart, GCW. So every weekend I'm looking forward to what I'm doing. It's always a new challenge. It's a different opportunity, wrestling different people, different places, different crowd demographics too. So whether I'm wrestling in front of kids or I'm wrestling in front of drunk 18-plus-year-olds, just so you know, in Canada and Quebec, it's 18 is the drinking law. So I don't want to. I wouldn't be doing anything illegal. I don't condone anything illegal, other than if I'm doing it. But no, that's so I just wanted to say, whatever the crowd is, that's Sexxxy Eddy either turns it up a notch, changes the dial. You work with who's there. That's the best advice I can give. Also, I tell all the up and comers, don't try and do the same match everywhere. Look at your crowd. If you're not the first match, get a chance to listen to the first couple matches, hear what the crowd really enjoys, and that's what you want to give them more of. So it's just paying attention to your crowd, and it's being able to improvise a little bit, change it up if you need to, and make it the best show possible for everyone out there, not for yourself. At the beginning, we all wrestle for ourselves. We're trying to do things for ourselves, but you're only as good as your partner lets you be good. So it's a teamwork. And the crowd plays just as important a role. The referee, the DJ, the guy ringing the bell. Everyone's got to be on cue to have a great match, to have a great throughout a roller coaster ride of emotions, and to have a great finish at the end where people remember. They don't always remember who wins or loses, but what they do remember are moments. We are here to make moments for fans like you and everyone out there, so that when you leave the place, you're like, again, who won, who lost? But I remember Sexxxy Eddy grabbed the guy from the top rope and he yanked him by his junk and he threw him right across the ring. And then the guy tried to grab Sexxxy Eddy's junk, but Eddie flipped him with it or did something, so that's what we're there to do, is make moments. So, sit back, relax, eat your popcorn. Don't go and say, hey, I think they could have done this better. I think they could have done that better. We are putting on a show, so you got to kind of like pretend you're at the movie theater. And, Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't always do his own stunts. That's the thing. So, he's an actor. So that's the thing. He's not shooting all those guns and aliens for real. You got to enjoy the show, sit back, relax, and, let us tell a story and we just want you to enjoy it. And and even if that match is not your cup of tea, I'm sure there'll be something on the show that you'll enjoy more. And even if you're too old for some of that magic, have fun watching the kids in the crowd and watching their eyes light up when they see the body slams and the moves and the acting and the charisma and the jumping off the top rope. Watch for them, and that for me now is one of my newer goals in wrestling. You're younger, you want to break through. As I get older, I want to make some magic for these kids. You never know in the crowd who the next John Cena, who's the next Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's the next Rock. You might be the one that influences him to maybe take a path in wrestling. And, if they can have half as much fun as I had and still am having fun, then all the power to them. Wrestling, like any, I think, organized sport, even though it's more on the entertainment side, it takes kids, it keeps them busy, and it can take them off the streets. If kids don't know what to do with their life, they're starting to do graffiti, they're starting to cause trouble and stuff. I know that professional wrestling has helped a lot of kids find something that they love to do. And so, it's just, it's a great outlet. Every kid needs an outlet, and I'm glad that I found it. I found it at a later age. But you know what? I'm still loving wrestling. I'm loving what I'm doing. Some days I'm a little more sore than others. But that comes with age. But love what you're doing, whatever you're doing, and give it 100%. And you only live once, right? So that's it. Have as much fun as you can, kids.
I love it. You actually answered a ton of my questions off the bat, which is amazing. No, it was perfect. It's perfect. I love it. So my next question is I know that you've had battles with El Generico, aka Sami Zayn. I know you've had battles with Kevin Steen. I am a Kevin Owens mark myself. But I got to ask, because I saw this on your Facebook. You and I have been friends on Facebook for a while. I saw this picture on your Facebook. You and Sami Zayn play an old school arcade game right before Elimination Chamber. And you were at that pay-per-view. You're able to see one of your friends main event a WWE pay-per-view. I mean, how cool was that to share that moment with Sami in his hometown, being able to rep Montreal to the masses and show exactly what Canada is, if not some of the best wrestling fans in the fucking world.
Dude, yeah, you said it all. It was like a surreal moment hearing the amount of time that the crowd was chanting too. I heard that it might have surpassed I think the Hulk and Rock moment, but like there was, because the Hulk and Rock moment, I think it went back up, went back down, or stopped. They did something and went back up. Like, I think in total amount of time, I don't know if that's what they were trying to do at the beginning, but that was magical to be there. Super fun to say, hey man, I've shared the ring with him several times. We've been on the road together for years, going to Combat Zone Wrestling in Philly, going to Jersey All Pro Wrestling in New Jersey. And you're doing that many hours with a couple guys, you end up getting your crew, your a good core group of guys that sometimes you think, man, what are we going to talk about this time? We talked about everything on the last road trip, but then we just start up and then it keeps going and stuff. So super happy for Kevin, super happy for guys in AEW that I know from being backstage and sharing a lot of shows with, but not doing as much road with, like Evil Uno's still there. Stu Grayson was there for a long time too, as the Dark Order. Guys that were in NXT and WWE, and then now they're in AEW, like 2.0. I'm gonna say the team of say Big Magic. That was his old character. Matt, what was his name? Well, what's his name? Matt Menard, I think.
Menard, yeah.
Angelo Parker. So knowing those guys and seeing where they're at now, it's awesome. It's amazing. I want to say maybe there's some people that have some jealousy, and I don't know if I ever had that. I know that for myself, I was my worst enemy, and I was scared of rejection, so I didn't want to take that next step. Another word of advice, again, there might be a couple of these throughout the show. Another word of advice for kids: always go for it. The worst they're going to tell you is no thank you. We don't need you at this moment. All the best in your future endeavors. I was too scared to get that I didn't even go and attempt get to try out and stuff. So, but it's not so. I regret that. But you know what? Regrets are in the past. There's nothing you can do about it. You can learn from it. So what I try to do now is tell as many people now. Again, oh, you've only been wrestling for 6 months, for 2 years. Go for it. You know, again, the worst they're gonna say is no, thank you. But if they keep seeing you, you keep showing up, you're there to help out or do whatever. Like in any independent show, eventually the promoter's like, okay, this guy has heart. He keeps coming back. Let's have him on the show. You keep doing that good work ethics everywhere, then good things will happen. Okay. Again, we always wish that no one gets injured. Some people might get a new job where it doesn't give them as many weekends as possible. And then some guys or girls might get a boyfriend or girlfriend that doesn't encourage what they do. So there's all these factors and obstacles that can get in the way. But for those that do persist at 0.00001 or whatever, that keep going, just like in the NHL, in the NFL, you keep pushing, you eventually get there, And so, and myself, I was my worst obstacle. So that's where I feel I didn't have any jealousy, because I didn't try myself. So to go and say this person deserves this more than this person, no, man, it's like they're doing it there. They hustled, they got there, they pushed, and they clawed and scratched their way to get to where they were. And they deserve it. Once they got that chance, once Sammy got that, Kevin got that 2.0, Evil Luna, once they got that ball in their hand, they ran with it. And you know what? That's awesome for them. So anyone, you get that ball, run with it.
I like that. Now, are you all at all surprised at the amount of Canadian talent that's on our TV screens each week? The fact that Canada has built some of the best names in wrestling and had that for such a long time, that now we're actually getting that push. And I almost feel like before it was probably, I want to say 95% American to 5% Canadian, but now I want to say it's like 70-30, maybe even 60-40 in terms of talent. Are you surprised by that?
Big time. Now that you're telling me these numbers, I didn't realize it. And sometimes you don't know. Again, I'll give you an example. When I was more of a wrestling fan and watching it, every time someone was a good guy, he was usually from the United States, because most of the shows that WWE puts on back then, again, I think still now, most of them are in the United States. So a lot of the good guys were from the United States, and some of the bad guys were from other countries. It just made it easier. But when a Canadian turned into a good guy, the storyline changed, so he went from heel to face. They would say, now residing from Florida, or residing from, so again, they used, and I was like, oh, interesting. And I only realized that later on. So some of them, even where they say where they're from, or maybe they don't say it all the time, I didn't realize there's that much Canadian talent on the roster. So it's awesome, because look at the amount of people we have compared to the United States. So if those numbers, even if you say it's like 25 to 75 versus 75% American, if you're looking at the amount of people per country, then we're represented even a lot more than the Americans. There's a lot more Americans living in the States than Canada. So those numbers are awesome. That's great. And it's just fun to see more diverse wrestlers crowd, more diverse countries that they're going to, having talents from China, from India. Well, at the beginning, when I was starting to watch too, and WCW was popular against WWE, and there was a lot of luchadors. So I was like, Mexico was being represented, and a lot of wrestlers from Japan too, and bringing in their strong style and different stuff that they were bringing to the table. I thought that was awesome, because it just showed how diverse and how everyone could have a chance maybe to be a wrestler. You didn't have to be 7 feet tall and 350 pounds of muscle. It gave a chance for cruiserweights. I'm sure it's been inspiring for girls to watch women wrestlers and the women division grow and get better. Not just a bra and panties show, which again, maybe to the dismay of some guys, they like that, the days of HLA and the days of Jerry the King Lawler with his puppies. And again, that was for those times. They were entertaining, and that was, again, I grew up with that too. But to see what it's grown to now, the evolution of all of the athletes. It's great to see. It's great to see the acceptance too of even trans athletes, and I want to say more in professional wrestling, not in like the Olympics or sports like that, but in the form of entertainment, where a guy could go against a girl could go against a guy, a small person could wrestle against a sumo, given the right storyline. Back in the day when we had Hornswoggle and he'd be wrestling, let's say, was it Prince Albert, a big dude like that. So it leaves a lot to the imagination where, hey, there's a possibility that maybe Rey Mysterio will win the WWE title tonight against Kevin Nash or something. Like, it just left us to like, there's a chance that anything could happen in wrestling. So it's good to see all areas of people, of cultures represented. And, like India is a great big market too. So then they had a couple talent from India, because you know what? If this is the people that are watching, people like to be represented, and it also gives a glimmer of hope. I think that for any kid that's watching, back in the day, if they weren't, maybe a certain type of body type, a certain person, a certain culture, a certain race, maybe they were like, oh, I can never do this. But now to see the spectrum, it just goes from everywhere. So I think it gives a lot of hope for kids in any country to say, hey, if I really want to do this, there's schools, I'll get informed, and I'll go and train, and I'll see where that'll take me. You might not always not every avenue leads to your end goal, but it's not the end of the race. It's the journey that really creates the person who you are and who you'll become. So yeah, go with it. Follow your dreams, man. And any kids, try it. Even if you're not sure, or you're like, I don't think I'm the body type for this. Maybe they need managers. Maybe they need referees. So you could learn a little bit, have fun, and go deeper. The last thing you ever want to do is think, man, I would have, should have, could have. At least you go to a class, try a couple classes, and if it's not your thing, then that's cool too, but at least you tried it. So again, see, I told you, I'd be shooting out advice throughout this thing. People would be like, we just see him rocking around in his banana hammock with a Four Loko in his hand. The guy's nuts. There's a little bit of gray in here, because the gray does mean there's a little bit of wisdom also. Whatever's left in this, there's a little bit of wisdom.
Absolutely. No, it's been great. And I actually, like I said, you keep checking off answers to my questions. And I knew this is how you're going to be, because I've watched Sexxxy Eddy interviews before, and I knew that you're going to give me a boatload of information. It's incredible. I'm enjoying the conversation. I guess one of my final questions to ask is, you mentioned regrets. You mentioned being your own worst enemy in terms of taking that next step. If you had the chance to go back in time and talk to a younger Eddie, in terms of maybe not taking the risk to go to TV, but a country you never were able to visit or able to put your stamp on, is there a place you would have liked to go if you were younger and you were able to get past being your own worst enemy? Okay, I'm going to take the jump. I'm going to go to Japan. I'm going to go to the UK. I'm going to go here because I want to put my stamp there while I can.
So, first off, if the older self of myself could go back in time and talk to the younger self, my younger cocky self would probably not listen to the old man that's trying to give him advice. Because again, as we all get older, we all think, man, I would have said, if we all have a bump card. Here's the thing that wrestlers talk about sometimes. We have a bump card. So the amount of times you take a fall and you don't know what that magic number is, where you're like, now I got to hang up my boots and call it quits. So it could be anything, just like in any sport. One concussion is all it takes for a big enough accident that, the doctor says no more. So I've just been unlucky to get a lot of concussions and be kind of, intelligible. I'm inventing words, just enough to talk to make some sense. So again, I'm going to say I'm lucky a little bit, but I would have told him, to push through. I did get to go to Japan on a few tours, and Germany and England. I would have loved to stay there longer. That would have been something where I would have told myself, hey, when you're there, stay there, take it in, enjoy the sights, because I flew to a couple places, and you're there, you're in there Thursday night, and you're gone Sunday morning. And it's just, wow, I was in another continent and it flew by so fast. Enjoy where you are, take some extra time, even if it delay your flight, ask them, you'll find your way around for an extra week, or explore, because the world is so big. It's beautiful on TV, that it is. They show you the best things, but when you're there, when you're breathing the ocean air, and you're in the jungle or wherever you are, and you're petting a tiger or something, because things like that you get to do in life. You're riding an elephant in Thailand or whatever. These are things that whatever videos you'll watch, it's not the same as being there. These are life-changing experience, and I never thought that pro wrestling, fake wrestling, could get me to go fly places and where they take care of me and stuff. So I got to really take advantage of things like that in Japan and learn a lot of that. I'm going to be actually going to a new country this summer, hopefully to wrestle in Portugal this summer. So that could be a chance while I'm there on vacation. I might pop up in a wrestling ring. So for me, again, that's going to be cool. On my bucket list, like I said, making those magic moments for the kids to light up is always the top of my priority. But if I can visit new provinces in Canada, new states, I could visit new countries, that's going to forever be on my bucket list as long as I'm wrestling, because I like breaking out of the comfort zone. And if you really want to be a true pro wrestler, you can't stay in the same place too long, because it just gets too easy. You want to go in new places. You want the crowd to rediscover, like, who are you? They don't they don't know anything about you. Clean the slate. They might have heard things. They want to see you. They want to see it live. They want to see what you can do. And so you give them your greatest hits, but sometimes you have a couple hidden cards in your sleeve just in case. You never give all your magic tricks in one shot, because then after that, do we need to see him again? No. So getting to visit new places and new countries would be on my bucket list. To tell myself, I'd probably be one thing I could tell myself would be protect your head a little bit more. That's for sure. Just protect your head when you're falling backwards. Just put your hands up. No one will notice. That's it. Again, would my younger self have listened? Who knows? That I don't know. So yeah, that's
I like
it.
that.
I know right now you're hearing a lot of tweeting. You're like, is Eddie in the jungle right now? Is it? No, but my pet bird, Blueberry, is just a little hungry. So yes.
All right. Well, our Blueberry, I won't keep it much longer. My final question before I get you to shout out your socials, my man, is we've noticed the inner workings of what happened there. Oh, there we go. We've noticed the inner workings of so much working in wrestling together. There's a lot of the last couple of years working together, that forbidden door, much like what IWS and GCW are doing now. Are you excited that the forbidden door is trickling down to the indies, where instead of competing for fans, we're working together to introduce fans to promotions together?
It's the best thing ever. I know how when wrestling started, it was all about the territories and stuff, and there's things that they had to protect. But you're giving the opportunity for the fans that are present or online or watching Fight TV or watching IWTV, things like that. You're giving them a chance to see some dream matches that, hey, man, this character versus this character, this fighter versus this fighter, this technical genius against this other technical genius. So it's awesome what people are realizing. What, again, I think when the wrestlers get wiser and they realize that we're working together, just makes everything stronger. When companies realize this too, where sometimes you'd have some greedy promoters that were just like, thinking about their one product, but you got to think of the growth of your product. You got to think of growth of your wrestlers. And when they do grow, they might leave you and stuff like that. So you got to take all these things in account. But if you have a good foundation, you have a good school, which every wrestling company should have something, and they should know how to teach the right way. If not, at least direct kids where to learn properly, because when you have a good school, you grow your own talent, and it's just self-sufficient after that. we started growing up our own vegetables, which is awesome because you realize just this it's little things you can do, and there's so much more so much more proud when you do something on your own. The gratitude of watching something grow in front of you, just like the young talented wrestlers we have, watching some of the kids learn the ropes, and even after a couple of years they're already represented in NXT or they're on AEW Dark, and they're just getting a chance to shine. Like, sometimes you just need to keep to keep buffing that diamond or whatever, and then you'll see how sparkly they'll shine. So this isn't the end of Canadian talent. It's like you say, it's just the beginning. The numbers are going up, but the numbers are going up everywhere in the world. So it's good. You're taking the best talents, and again, I always tell people, you're never going to be the biggest guy. You're never going to be the fastest guy. You're never going to be the strongest. You're never going to be the most technical. But again, if you're a little bit of everything, you will be unique in yourself. So again, showcase your strengths. Sometimes you got to work on while you're hide your weaknesses, but work on them at the same time. So yeah, if you can be an all-around, learn all about wrestling and learning the inner workings of a good heel and a great baby face, it's things like that too. You stay a good guy all your life, it's not as much fun. You learn the bad guys, the inner workings of that, then I think you become more complete. And it's just the best part I find of being a wrestler is that we're controlling the roller coaster of emotions that fans get to ride. It's like you're buying a ticket, but this is an amusement park here, and we're gonna take you up and down, and there's gonna be some big moves, and there's gonna be moments where it cuts your air off, and you're just gasping like, whoa, and then to come back and fight back, and for your classic stories for kids when the good guy's getting beaten up the whole time, the bad guy's cheating, and then the good guy, surmounts, and he shows that, hey, you got to do it properly. You got to do it, to finish on top and stuff like that. So sometimes it's as simple as a story like that, but that's the magic moments that we live for. And I mean, telling myself as a younger wrestler that was more like, I'm going to shoot for the stars, and that was my goal, is just to get to the biggest screen ever and get paid to do this. For a lifetime, as a lifestyle too and stuff. But not everyone's cut up for this. Wrestling every day. Your body's only getting older. I wish there was a fountain of youth, and if I would have found it, I'd be swimming in it right now. But I'm not. I'm in a bathtub of old water because I'm just getting older and older. I don't know where I was going with that. But I mean, just my brain is still young. And I tell a lot of wrestlers, you're only as old as the women you're having sex with. So if your mind is young and your body's staying in young, trying to do the best thing you can. I mean, you go from going to the gym a lot to maybe transitioning to more yoga, DDP yoga. There's a plug for him too. I hope I get some free DVDs, some free merch. But that's the thing. Just you want to look like a performer. You want to look like a wrestler. You gotta have. Workout, train. You're just going to prevent yourself from getting injury. Get some cool looking gear. It always helps. Practice your promos in the mirror. Again, if you can convince yourself, if you can convince when wrestlers come to the curtain to watch your match is one of the most rewarding things because your peers are actually watching because they know that they might learn something and pick up on it. So, again, with everything that I said, have fun. Have as much fun as you can in the wrestling ring. It's good to have some butterflies and some stress because that just means you're alive. But the moment you stop doing that, like everyone says, the moment that you stop getting nervous at all and you go through the curtains and it's boring, maybe try something different, do something else, but always keep chasing after a passion in life. For everyone, no matter what your age is, man, never get bored. Try and find something that you love to do. And if you can't find anything, adopt a lot of pets. Adopt some pets, and that'll make you feel good.
I love it. I think that's the best way to end the interview. Almost like when Bob Barker used to end what's it called?
Don't forget to get your pet spayed and neutered. Yeah.
There you go. Price is right, baby. Yes. Sexxxy Eddy, this has been an incredible conversation. I know there's going to be a part 2 down the line for sure. My dude, before you go, please shout out your socials to all the Straight Talk faithful so they can keep up on everything that is Sexxxy Eddy.
All right. Well, if you want to get in touch with me, it might take a while when I answer my MySpace. So that takes a little bit of time. Sorry, I'm joking, but I don't have a MySpace anymore. But I'm trying to stay current, trying to stay trendy with the kids and hashtag stuff before my name. But so you can reach me out on Facebook. I have my personal account, but there's also my Sexxxy Eddy account. I have Instagram. I'm trying to remember what it is now. I believe it's Only One Naked Eddie. I think that's it. If not, you can find it throughout a bunch of other wrestlers. Also on Twitter. I usually put the same stuff on Instagram and Twitter because I don't know which one's better. I'm not on TikTok. I heard that's not good to be on anymore. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors because my dance moves aren't on par with the young kids. So I don't have a TikTok. Unfortunately, also for my male fans, I don't have a grinder. Again, I don't have an OnlyFans. But again, if anyone wants to help me out with one and maybe provide pictures of their own penises and I'll just sign it and say it's mine, we could work something out 50-50. I'm not opposed to making a little bit more money. We all need a little cherry on the sundae. So, yeah, those are some of my ways to contact me. Or else, you know what? You can do it by snail mail and write me a letter. That would be, you don't get enough letters. And you know what? When you do get a letter in the mail, you do feel special. Not just an email, a regular mail. We got to keep those postmen employed too, or else they go postal. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm always hard, but I'm not hard to find. There you go.
All right, perfect. Eddie, thank you so much for joining me today. Guys, that's it for this one. Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to tune in next week for another great episode on all available podcast platforms and hosted on Podbean. Also, check us out on YouTube at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Instagram at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Facebook at Straight Talk Wrestling, and on Twitter at _Straight Talk. And if you feel the need to buy some sweet merch, check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Leaving the scene with no trace, not in my league. You out of place. I'm not at the top. I'm outer space. Can't eat with us. We're out of place. I'm doing fine. I'm feeling great. You're